Day. Oh my gosh, we're going live. Hey there, I'm Alexandra Harbushka, founder of Life with Herpes, founder of alexandraharbushka.com, founder of Secret Society Wellness, all the Secret Society products. It's Tuesday, so I have lots of questions, and guys, today it is, I don't know why I'm sitting outside. It's 109 out in Las Vegas, but it's like overcast, so I feel like it's not 109, but it's 109 out right now. Pretty ridiculous. Hey, sorry. Hi, all my friends. It's good to see you all. Okay, let's get to the questions. Lots of questions today. Okay, are you less contagious if you're asymptomatic? Great question. Being asymptomatic does not make you, so you're still contagious if you are asymptomatic. Here's the thing. You are most contagious when you have an outbreak. So if you have an active outbreak, you're most likely, and you have someone comes in contact with that outbreak, like you're most likely to transmit it then. However, if you have viral shedding, then you're still able to transmit the virus with the viral shedding. So to say, are you more or less contagious, asymptomatic? You're not. If you're not getting outbreaks, then you're cutting down the risk of transmission while you have an outbreak, but you still are able to transmit via viral shedding. The thing about viral shedding is we don't know how often you shed. Everyone's going to be different, right? Like everyone's different with their outbreaks. Some people get them once a month, some people get them once every 10 years. You just don't know. So do keep that in mind. The longer you have the virus, the less likely you are to shed and have outbreaks. Why do people get scared when they hear the word herpes, but are okay whenever they hear the word cold sore? I know, right? I don't know what the word is. It's such a conundrum, or such a quinky dink is not the word, but such it just frustrates you. Yeah, because the word herpes is stigmatized. The word cold sore is like, oh, everybody gets that when their immune system's run down. Oh yeah, I used to get them as a kid. Like everybody gets that. It's just the way the stigma has been played, and it's the exact same virus. Totally agree with you. So not fair. It's been 9 weeks dealing with my initial outbreak, starting to see some relief. You're inspiring. Yay! I'm glad that you're seeing relief. I know. When you're first diagnosed, those first couple outbreaks are just there's no way around it to tell you how bad they are. Like they're just bad. It's bad. It's like sugarcoating. So I don't know. It's just bad. There's nothing exciting or good about it. The good news is there is an antiviral to get that into your system as soon as possible. The next part then is the emotional healing. How do you know your husband doesn't have it? What test did he take? Was it negative in the past? So Bill gets tested at least once a year, if not every 6 months, whenever he's going into the doctor or whenever he has blood work. I always say if you're getting your blood work, just ask for the herpes test. So he keeps getting the IgG, HSV1, and HSV2 tests, and they continue to come back negative. So they're always negative. I'm how is it always negative? Let's see. I'm getting all red because it's hot out here. Some more newly diagnosed. So the more newly diagnosed you are, the less contagious you are, or will it be less over time? As time continues, the less contagious the less likely you are to have outbreaks. So that what they're saying is in the first year of having herpes, 6 months to a year, you don't know your body. You don't know what an outbreak trigger is. You don't really maybe even know what an outbreak is. The virus is going to potentially shed more. So yeah, you are more contagious in the first year. You met a gentleman 2 weeks ago. And I just closed on our first real date, and he said that he was willing to take the risk because he really liked what he heard when he felt since meeting me. So things are going really well. Yay! I'm so happy for you. It's good to see you, my friend. Beach love and free spirit soul. I haven't seen you in a long time. It's really good to see you. Hey, Autumn. Hey, girls. Hey, Daisy. You're in Maui right now? Super jealous. How is it? Is it awesome in Maui? Why do people get so scared when they heard? Okay, I already did that one. How did you tell your mom you have herpes? I tell her everything, and it's really hard. I have been keeping it from her. I'm just afraid of the outcome. I told my mom in the garden. She was out gardening, and she could just tell I wasn't right. She could tell I was struggling. So I told her, and I just told her what happened. I was scared, and I wanted my mom. So at the end of the day, you have to be okay with whatever outcome. I mean, at the end of the day, our parents love us unconditionally. But I do understand if, culturally and certain family traditions, the way some people are okay with it, some people are not. So, it may take some time to educate your mom on it and maybe change some of the conditioning around herpes and around STDs. Okay. If IgG index is 15, does that mean I have HSV for a longer time, or if I'm shedding? I would refer back to your doctor on that one as far as tests and test results. That index is most likely saying you have herpes. It most likely is saying that you have some things going on right now, whether it's an outbreak, whether it's shedding. I don't know. You can't really tell how long you've had herpes. That's kind of an annoying part about it. You can't be like, oh, you've had it for 3 years and 2 weeks. Like, you either have the antibodies or you don't. Kind of frustrating. Okay. Okay, this is like a 4-part question, but I'm trying to decide. Okay, which one? Test, but they'd say it's kind of pointless because, okay. Test from years back, and even one I recently took, but recently had an outbreak, could be testing negative, but still have it. Only asking because my husband wants to get tested, but they say it's kind of pointless because you can still test negative and have it. Okay. So yeah, this was part of how does my husband know it's negative. So you're going to test positive on a blood test because you're testing for the antibodies. So if you have the antibodies in your blood system, then that means that you have herpes. The problem is you don't know how long you've had it, and you have to have had the antibodies built out. So if you were just to become infected or just come in contact with herpes, you're not going to have the antibodies, so you would test negative. It's going to take time for the antibodies to build in your system. So back to your husband testing negative. If he's testing negative, it means that at this point, he does not have the antibodies, which means at that point in time of the blood draw, he was negative for herpes. Unless he had a positive result for a swab, like let's say he had an actual outbreak and got a positive result for the swab. So I would say get tested and see where he's at, and that way you have a timestamp to kind of know what's going on. You get outbreaks on a monthly basis. How can I reduce my outbreaks, especially on your period? So that is really common for women to get outbreaks around their period. It's really frustrating because of our hormones, they change. I would say, do you know when that's happening? Like for some women, it's like, I always get it on day 2 of my period, or I always get it the day after my period, or blah, blah, blah. If that's the case, taking the antiviral might be helpful, getting on that during that time so that you could kind of nip it. I would also say take care of yourself, remove those foods that are triggers, so refined sugar. So like, of course, when you're on your period, you want comfort food, and those comfort foods are usually the ones that cause outbreaks. Also take some Epsom salt baths, relax. Epsom salts help tremendously. So I would do those. The guy I like a lot gets cold sores since he was a kid, but he said tested negative for HSV1. I feel like I'm being lied to. Thoughts? I would ask him what type of test. Was it a blood test? It could be HSV2 that he has, not HSV1. I would ask to see his test. Yeah, I would ask to see it. Okay, let's keep going. Can I take the antiviral for HSV1? Yep, you can take the antiviral for HSV1. Can 2 people who have been diagnosed with HSV1 still have a sexual relationships? Of course. Millions of people have HSV1 and millions of people still have a sexual relationship. It really means nothing. It's just, you need to disclose, and your partner just needs to be aware of it. That's all it is. Thank you so much for clearing that up. I definitely been difficult, but you have 101%. I like that. 101% have helped me through all this. Really appreciate you. You're welcome. Does HSV1 live in bodily fluids? Can it transmit HSV1 through kissing without an outbreak? So it doesn't live in bodily fluids. It is skin-to-skin transmission. It's dormant in our and it's dormant in our system, in our nervous system, down our spinal cord. Sorry, my dad was texting. I had another thought. It doesn't live in our bodily fluids, but those bodily fluids could potentially be a vehicle in which to transmit it. So like, let's say if you have oral herpes, you have an outbreak, you use that saliva as lubricant for sex, then you could potentially pass it through your saliva, right? It's not living in the saliva. So think of it kind of in that way. You tested positive for both HSV types, very low antibody numbers, never had an outbreak. How accurate are those tests? I was prescribed medication even though I have no outbreaks or symptoms. Well, that's awesome. You don't have outbreaks or symptoms. I would say if you have the antibodies in your body, they're pretty accurate. Of course, go back again and get tested. But once you have them, you pretty much have them. So I think that's great. You don't have outbreaks. I mean, there's a lot of jealous people out there. Both me and my partner are HSV2 positive. If I am at the end of an outbreak, and we do have sex, can I cause him an outbreak too? No, he already has it. So you're not going to be reinfecting each other. I mean, I usually wait to make sure mine's cleared up before, having sex, but my husband doesn't have it. I would say, no one wants to expose someone to a blister, just not what you want to do. But I wouldn't stress about it, and I wouldn't worry about causing an outbreak for a partner. I just got diagnosed with both HSVs. I just answered that one. Any tips for vulvodynia, nerve pains in the vagina after HSV1? CBD and Epsom salt baths. Those two things Epsom salt baths are something we don't take enough of, and they are life-changing. And I'd say adding CBD to your bath, that's our recovery soak, has CBD in it, so that is awesome. But I would say do that for any of the nerve pain. The nerve pain can last, it's most prominent in the first year, and then your body should adjust to it. Can herpes leave scars? It usually doesn't leave scars. If it does, it's usually on the skin. Like our skin is different than our genital, like our lip skin, or like our genital tissue is very different than like our skin. So the skin may leave pigmentation. Can you drink moderately while being on medication, or should I cut it off completely? Talk to your doctor, of course. But I drink every day, and I was on the antiviral for 3 years. I still drink every day. So, of course, talk to your doctor. When you say CBD, do you mean orally or topically? I was speaking topically, but also orally is great especially if you have anxiety, or you just, want to help. It helps with inflammation in your body, helps with recovery, things like that. So I think all CBD is awesome. All right, guys. I loved having you join me today. I'm actually overheating with 109 degrees. Awful. I don't know why I'm out here. I just wanted to go outside. I've been inside all day. I wanted to go outside. All right. I will see you all soon. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.